What's up, guys? My name is Bryan Carreto, and on this channel, I teach you accounting, audit, and everything it takes to be an awesome CPA. I wanted to share something that I recently read. There's a book I'm reading, and the book is called Leading an Inspired Life. It's written by Jim Rohn. He's like a really big motivational speaker guy, but I've always really resonated with the things that he's said and the things that he's done. And I have to share this with you because it's just... This like I've had a few things, and I always say this. I think reading is such a critical part of your overall development as a professional, as a human being, as just a person, because I think it really expands your mind into thinking about different things, different ways to approach certain things, different philosophies on life. And this was probably by far one of like the most impactful things I think I've ever read in my life. And I'll kind of share it with you. It says, what a great reason for setting goals, and here's why. The greatest value in life is not what you obtain. The greatest value in life is what you become along the way. The major question to ask on the job is not, what am I getting here? let me rephrase that. The major question to ask on the job is not, what am I getting here? A much more powerful question is, what am I becoming here? It's not what you get that makes you valuable. It's what you become along the way that makes you valuable. That is such... I can't tell you how much I resonate with that on a personal level. And looking back at the last decade of my professional career, going through my CPA license, being in public accounting, developing myself as a professional, although maybe I didn't think about this, or I never articulated this out loud, or I really was cognizant of the fact that I was doing this, looking back now, I'm glad I maybe stuck it out and stayed in the certain positions that I've done and that I've did, because I always really, and it's funny how, especially my first like 3 years of working, and then mind you, I was in a position that I lived at home with my parents. I had no debt. I didn't have, kids or a wife or anything like that. So mind you, maybe I was in a very privileged position at that point in time to be able to say what I'm about to say, but I never really thought about, what am I getting from this job? Well, how much am I getting paid? Obviously, yes, we all have to get paid 100%, but I wasn't so fixated on it. I wasn't, $1,000 raise wasn't going to make or break the fact that I was going to stay at a place. I always asked myself, and it's funny how I've even shared on this channel that my first year in public accounting was very difficult, because not only was it hard for me to, resonate with a lot of people at the firm. It was very hard for me to acclimate to corporate culture. I was the first person in my family to go to college and a bunch of different things. So it was very difficult, and I felt I faced a lot of challenges. But at the same time, I always continue to ask myself, what am I becoming through trying to get my CPA license? And it's funny how setting that CPA license as a goal, I became a much more disciplined person. I believe that from that I got a sense of belief in myself and a sense of confidence that I don't think any amount of money can give me. It's more so of being able to accomplish the things that I set out to do. And whether you're studying for your CPA exam, going through public, whatever you're doing, I think you need to ask yourself, and maybe you're in a role right now. From doing my coaching calls, I've been blessed to talk to so many different people, and kind of walking down, although all in the accounting industry, walking down so many different paths of life. And some people are very young in their life and they're going through it. Some people are my age and they're barely starting off. And I think that's all great and beautiful. And I think everyone has their own path, but I think the main thing you need to ask yourself, especially if you're in a role right now that you maybe don't feel fulfilled, or you're doing something that you don't necessarily feel like you're getting a lot out of, just continue to ask yourself, what are you becoming by going through this goal? What type of person does it take to get there? And I think even another thing that he mentions in that same paragraph is that his mentor, Mr. Earl Shove, told Jim Rohn that, hey, you should set a goal of becoming a millionaire. And Jim Rohn's like, okay, great. Well, why? He's like, not so much the money. The money is a byproduct. The success is a byproduct of you becoming very, very, very good at what you do. But it's more so on the fact of what type of person, what type of qualities, what type of individual are you going to have to be in order to get to that $1 million? And it's more so like that. Exactly what I always kind of related back to my CPA exam is that it made me turn into a person that was much more self-sufficient, much more diligent, much more disciplined in the fact of doing what I needed to do to study, making sure that I didn't deviate from the plan I had. And it's so funny to me, and just to share like on a personal level, and after reading that, I remember I read that on the plane back home. I had to travel all last week for work, and I got back home and I saw my girlfriend on Friday, and I told her like, hey, my goal is to be the best boyfriend in the world. I know it sounds really lame and dumb, but because of the man that I'm going to become through that process. And it may seem like a stupid goal or whatever, but I want to be the best in every role that I have, whether it's in my personal life, whether it's in my professional life. But by being the best boyfriend in the world, I'm going to be attentive. I'm going to listen more. And through that, I'm going to become a better man in the process, because I'm going to be able to provide and do certain things and be worthy of being a husband one day and a father and all these different things, right? And again, I'm going on a tangent, but you get my point here. I think setting goals and not only setting goals, but looking at where you're currently at right now, relating it back to our professional life, which is what I'm all about. Think about in your current role, what are you becoming? Are you having to are you being challenged? Are you having to become a more disciplined person? Are you having to do certain things that maybe otherwise you wouldn't been exposed to? And irrespective of the firm, company, wherever you're at, it does not matter, because you can have two people work for the same place and have vastly different experiences and vastly different opinions about the place. So ask yourself, really, especially if you're watching this channel, you're probably somewhat in accounting or CPA, or you're probably looking for some type of career guidance. If you're in a role right now where what you're becoming isn't a person you aspire to be, I would really take a hard look, irrespective of how much money you're making. Maybe you're making a lot of money, but you're not constantly growing. You're not constantly being challenged. You're not constantly developing yourself as a person. Really take a step back and analyze and audit what you really want to do or where you really want to be. Because from reading that, I can tell you that from personally living it and experiencing that, thinking, always putting in the foremost and in the most important thing of asking myself day in and day out, is the current role that I'm in helping me become the person I want to be? If the answer is no, then maybe you need to reassess. And if the answer is yes, irrespective of maybe what you're getting paid, again, I know everyone's situation is different, and obviously we all have to get paid, but if you're in a position where you're constantly growing, you're developing, and you're becoming the person you want to be, then I would say that's a great place to be. And if it's other than that, then I would really think about if that's somewhere you want to be. If you got value from this video, please make sure to smash the like button below. Till next time, peace.